Hello, my name is Alexander War, and this is week 12 of the Backend Software Development course at PROMINEO Tech. This week, as far as the homework goes, was very short, not a whole lot of code, simply just showing that we can perform testing and write the testing. We just want to test a couple of the methods, the main one being the add positive, where it determines whether or not both numbers are positive, and if so, it adds them, and if any of them are negative or 0, it will throw an exception and prompt the eventual user to input better numbers. Right now, we're not trying to test any input. We're simply trying to test whether or not this method runs. Then we have a random number squared, where it generates a random number, and then it returns that number times by itself or squared. And we will be testing that code as well. Now, in order to get the random number, we have getRandomInt. And we're going to show how to use a test to mock that in order to know what the number will be produced so we can know what the expected outcome will be. So over here in our test demo, we have two variables. That is the test demo, which we'll be using primarily here, and the mock demo, which we will be using to turn the test demo into one that we can change the variables for. So our first test, which is a parameterized test, uses the method source to pipe these arguments down here into the entire test demo in order to assert that the two positive numbers are added correctly. So we have an if-then statement which determines whether or not an exception is expected, and then it will handle whether or not there is an error. Now the arguments we supply is the first parameter, the second parameter, what we expect those numbers to add into, and whether or not we expect an error. Now this one doesn't expect an error because 2 plus 4 equals 6. However, this next argument has a couple of things wrong with it. -1 plus 2 does not equal 6. And -1 is not a positive number, so there should be an exception there. We also do not expect to see 2 plus 0 equaling 6. That will be another exception. 4 plus 6 does equal 10, so we will not be expecting an exception. The next test is a simple test. We won't be doing too many crazy things, but we will be using the mock demo using mockito.spy. And what that will do is, instead of returning the random int, when it runs random int, it's instead going to shove in a 5. So now we know what to expect, and that is 25. If we were to change this to 26 or 15, the test will not work. If we did not put in this 5 and we just let it show up with a random integer, we would not know what to put in here. So, enough talking, let's run the test. And as you can see, there were no errors, no failures, and we can look. And if we were trying to make our code more efficient, we would be looking at these numbers. In this case, we just wanted to verify that all 5 worked, and we got the expected outcome. So as we can see, false, true, true, false. And because we were expecting errors on the 2 trues, they still ran as a passed test because we were expecting the errors. This is to test to make sure that the code wasn't just allowing anything through. And this was to test to make sure it was doing what we wanted it to do. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.